imagine it's sometime in the late 1700s or early 1800s. I don't know when the first one was, right? But the biggest four-legged animal you've ever seen is a dingo. So roughly the size of a dog, yeah? Maybe a smidge bigger if you saw a really big dingo, or maybe a smidge smaller if you saw a normal-sized dingo. Like, they vary, yeah? But the biggest quadruped, which means four-legged animal, that you've ever seen, right, is a dingo. And you're walking along, you've met some white people, right? You've met these new... You're an Aboriginal in this imagination, yeah? You have met some white people, you know what they are, who they are, that they are, and that they exist and whatnot, and they're over here. And they've brought you a bunch of cool shit. Like, you've traded, there's an encampment in town, and you guys know who each other are. You're not super friendly, but you know who each are. Anyway, biggest four-legged animal you've ever seen is a dingo, right? And you're walking through you're spending your day walking along, and you happen to bump into one of these. Just imagine that moment. Because it's bound to have happened, like, probably a few hundred times, you know what I mean, back in those days. And that's an example of what my favourite part about history is, you know, like what I call the what the fuck moments in history. Yeah, like having never seen a cow or anything that big before, like, it'd blow your fucking mind, you know what I mean? It'd blow your mind. And speaking of four-legged animals, quadrupeds and Aboriginals and stuff, a lot of people talk about Aboriginals as being, like, obviously underdeveloped because there were no houses or buildings or, like, whatever. Like, there were dwellings, but because there were no fucking skyscrapers or whatever, you know, social Darwinism, they weren't as advanced, blah, blah, blah. It's hard to build a fucking building out of huge concrete building materials if you haven't got a horse or a bull to drag the fucking shit with, you know what I mean? Like, if you have no quadrupeds, you're kind of nerfed as a society, a little bit. Like, they weren't underdeveloped, that's contextual knowledge, you know? Anyway, getting away from the point. Cows would freak me the fuck out if I didn't know what they were. Just throwing that out there. That was the point of this video, was to say cows are way scarier than we give them credit for.